Hey, what's up, everybody? Onepeg here. Final day, final stream before I head off for the weekend to Loot Fest. So come by the stream and say hi if you want to say hi. Please, please, thank you. Anyway, the servers are currently down. They've been down now for about 10 minutes. They took them down for a 2-hour-long patch duration. We have a hot fix that SDF has given us notes for. So most of this is bug fixes. There is some balance stuff down at the bottom. This first section about bug stuff, most of it is kind of like whatever, with the exception of a couple of key pieces. There is one here that said emotes could allow players to see through walls. So stuff like the hold the line emote and a few others would cause the character model to lean forward, and in doing so, you could clip your head through doors, and I guess that has now been fixed, which is very, very nice. They also added fixed the portal bug for Goblin Cave's final phase. There was the second to last ring wasn't showing the portal like at all, ever. One of the big problems with Goblin Caves was that people weren't able to get out, and now hopefully that has been fixed. Okay, so on to balance stuff. Sword Mastery increases movement speed by 10 instead of increasing impact resistance by 1 in defensive stance. Now, while Sword Mastery increasing movement speed for the longsword is super nice, the impact resistance piece of it really doesn't give a whole lot of love there. The longsword doesn't really have like a recoiling animation. So if you get hit, it's unlike a shield. Oh, and to correct a little thing from before, sword and shield, it doesn't give shields any impact resistance. We were under the assumption before the patch went live, the last patch went live, that was the case, and it's not. It's literally only for the longsword as far as we can tell. In this case, though, stuff like getting hit by a dagger, let's say, if you can parry a dagger, you have a 230 MS window to be able to riposte off of the dagger hit, which is almost impossible because of reaction times of humans just not being that amazing. Anyway, the movement speed piece of it is nice, but the way that Sword Mastery works by shortening, closing, shrinking that window to be able to do the riposte doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense here. So I think they're going to have to rework this because, again, there's no recoil animation, and you want a long window of opportunity to be able to do that riposting, even if it's a small hit, because larger hits give you a larger window of opportunity to be able to do the riposte. So yeah, I don't really know what to do about this. If you're a fighter and you're using a longsword, I would seriously reconsider using longsword mastery, though. Barbarian receives a treacherous lungs. I don't know what treacherous lungs are. Maybe somebody in the comments does. This seems weird. Anyway, axe specialization weapon damage increase changed from 3 to 5 because if it's one thing that Barbs definitely needed was a buff. That makes sense. Cleric's divine protection physical damage reduction changed from 30 to 50%, which is ridiculous, and reduces cooldown from 90 to 45 seconds. So this is a massive buff to divine protection. However, given the current meta, I don't know if divine protection still gets used by people. Maybe in a solo situation, or if you're in like a super stacked trio where you don't have to take like 10 spell now that there's a second spell wheel. In my experience, for versatility, Swiss Army knife style of gameplay, the more spells, the better. 10 spell for me, at least in threes, has made the most sense. We'll have to see what people think, I guess. Wizard receives an ice mastery, so that'll be interesting to check out. Staff Mastery's magic weapon damage increase has been changed from 5 to 3, so that obviously needed a nerf. Apparently, they're still keeping the scaling, though, so I don't think a 2 damage modification to the absolutely ridiculous Bonk Wizard is really going to matter. Wizard's Ice Shield now has a 5-second cooldown before it can be activated again, okay? As a passive having a cooldown is interesting. Melodic Protection physical damage reduction changed from 15 to 30%. Wow, okay. Din of Darkness ranged, given 100 points of range. Piercing Shrill has been changed from 450 to 550. Blow of Corruption cooldown changed from 15 to 18 seconds, so that should give some people like a little bit more room to work. Okay. Magic damage of all grades of Magic Staff has been reduced, so kind of closing the gap between the Magic Staff and the Spellbook. If it's been reduced, I wonder by how much. That's interesting. But this also means that the crappy wizard staff, like the starter wizard staff that at one point in time had 1 damage on it, no longer has, or 3 damage, no longer has any damage on it. Decreased damage of all Francesca axes, recurve bows, and longbows. Good. About time. Thank God. Windless crossbow hit slow duration has been changed from 2 to 1.5 seconds, and movement speed bonus reduction has been changed from 55 to 45. So this is actually a good change too. However, windless is, I guess, big bonus. The benefit of the windless is hitting people in the face with it for their entire HP pool. So I guess this isn't as good if you miss their face. You can now more easily exchange items between gold coin containers by dragging and dropping them. Containers are now prioritized when acquiring gold coins into inventory/stash. So this is good. This is good. A little bit of a quality of life thing isn't awful. The size of the ice cobalt has been slightly reduced. The sold by tab has been removed from the marketplace. I'm going to assume that this is based around RMT reasons. You can't see the person's name that's selling the item anymore is what it reads like. So that way you can't like thumb through and find somebody specific that's selling a specific item and then be able to buy it. Or for some like trollsy stuff. I guess you'll just have to be putting up, if you're trying to move items between your own characters through the market, you'll have to put up, an obscure amount of gold or something for an item that you're trying to sell off. In the marketplace, products with quantity are displayed sorted with their individual prices. Okay, good. So instead of it being a price per grouping, it's a price per unit. And that's a good thing. Instead of having to go like 15 pages deep and do math on a calculator or whatever for stacked items. Improved loading speed when running the game process. Japanese localization readability has been slightly improved. Now, the notes section. Adjustments will continue to be made in the future. Disruptions in the previous weeks. They've extended preseason 1. We knew that already. 2-week preparatory period for the next wipe will take place. During the period, various trials and drastic balance changes may occur. And we know that they talked about this already in some prior stuff that was pinned in general chat, where SDF said that they were going to be making some wide swathing changes to matchmaking and whatnot to try and test out some stuff over that 2-week period. We'll have to see how it plays. I'm not a personally big fan of the idea of removal of duo queue, but they have population issues that they're trying to deal with, and they're trying to keep games populated with people, so we'll see what happens. Please wait a little longer for the upcoming wipe. We are working very hard on new additions to the game. We think you will enjoy what is to come. See you in the dungeons. Okay, so a couple of head scratchers there. I don't know necessarily why they decided to give the clerics the buff that they did. I don't feel like clerics really needed that one at all. I'm sure that cleric mains are going to disagree with me, but I have a lot of hours in cleric, so I'm just saying. The longsword mastery thing I think still needs to go back into the lab. And again, I don't know why they're buffing barbs, but it is what it is. The nerfs to the wizard stuff makes sense to me, though. They do. I don't think it was enough necessarily, but we'll have to see what the wizard staff looks like now, especially at lower levels, because one of the big problems with wizard is starting off brand new as a wizard and then needing some kind of base kit stuff for people that are trying to get moving. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming by, boys. We'll see you on stream. If you enjoy the content, please consider subbing the channel if you haven't already subbed the channel, and I will see you in the next video. All right? Peace.